Oh, hello, old guy jamming here. Today. We're gonna look at the Engl versus the Randall RD20, the Engl Ironball versus the RD20. And I'm not gonna talk long, but you know what? I like it when people talk. I was looking at Randall reviews and I was thinking, yeah, okay, it sounds pretty good, but I really don't know. I don't have anything a baseline to compare it to until one reviewer said this. After playing it and it sounded awesome, he said, after playing this, I decided to keep it and sell my PRS MT15. That statement held more weight with me, having owned a MT15. That statement held more weight with me because now I knew what he was comparing it to. I know what the MT15 sounds like in the room, and him saying that gave me enough confidence to click the buy button at my local guitar center and grab one of those Randalls. Pretty far out amp. All right, so we got a comparison. It's an editing nightmare, but see what you think. Tell me what you think. Maybe at the end I'll have some additional thoughts, but I don't want to say anything right now. So here we go. Check it out. All right, so I can't wait to hear what you all think about that. Room looks a little different. Sold the Marshall, so that's just the Supersonic down there by itself. Which this last week I was playing and because I sold the Marshall, so I was down an amp. But I'm using the JHS black box in the effects loop of the Supersonic and getting some killer AC/DC type tones. And it just made me wonder almost if Angus didn't sometimes use a Fender to record with. Although we know he didn't. It was his SG Marshalls with greenbacks, 25 watt greenbacks. Or so people say, but you never know. But killer tones out of that Fender. It's just pretty loud. It's a loud 22 watts. You know Fender. Their stuff is loud. So the JHS black box in the loop is a great fix for that. So the Engl, I actually think I prefer the Randall. Now, I think there was some effects loop level issues internally to the 2 amps. So in that one part with delay, it seems cleaner on the Engl, but aside from that, the dirty channel is similar enough that they're just both amazing. But the Randall takes the OCD boost better when you go to play a lead with your OCD gain down, volume all the way up. It's more pronounced in the Randall, less pronounced in the Engl. There's a difference, but there's less of a volume boost when you hit the OCD in the Engl. The Engl does have its own reverb, which is really nice and switchable, foot switchable, but it doesn't, with an MXR reverb, I'm fine. I don't need a reverb in a head. The Engl's smaller, which is nice. The Randall's kind of big. It's an old school 15 watt head. The Engl has boosts, but for it to sound the way I want it to sound, the boosts have to be on anyway. The Randall has a boost, and again, for it to sound the way I want it to sound, the boost has to be on anyway. So, and I think the Randall does the crunch better. And one thing I do know is that the Randall takes pedals better on the clean channel. Where the Engl, the clean channel is already so, I don't know if it's compressed, I don't know really how to explain it, but as soon as you hit an overdrive pedal on the Engl, it tends to start to compress and mush up a little bit on the Engl. So getting a really nice crunch tone is a little harder. It does play well with the pedals, but I think the Randall, I think I prefer the way that clean channel acts. Now on the Randall too, I did drop that clean side tube to 12 AU7, 50% of the gain. I haven't done anything to the tubes in the Engl, so lowering that clean channel preamp tube could affect how it takes pedals. If we lower the gain there, when you add a pedal, the gain threshold is not going to already have been reached, is how I'm thinking it through. With a high gain tube, a 12AX7, depending on how the circuit's wired up, the gain threshold might already be kind of saturated, maxed out, so that when you throw a pedal in it, you immediately start to compress. Whereas with a lower gain tube, you add gain through it with a pedal, and you still have some headroom or clearance before that wave starts to turn into a nasty square wave. Okay, so let me know what you think. Tons of fun. For $400 versus $1,000, I don't know how I can't sell the Engl and just keep the Randall. They're both amps you can work on. They're not full of integrated circuits like some of them. We'll probably end up taking the Engl apart before I do sell it, if I do sell it. There's no point having them both because they're both similar. They sound very much the same to me, and I don't need that. I'm not in the habit of collecting stuff just to collect it. All right, so anyway, please subscribe, share this up, hit like, turn your iPads on one night with old guy jamming on a scroll, and let them rip. We'll see you next time.